Check, check, check. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Does It Doom Live here on this Sunday morning. I hope everybody's doing good. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good weekend here. Just started up the live chat there. Time Traveler, what's up? How you doing, man? Phantom Spaceman, you saw Boris play last night. Where was that? Awesome. With the Melvins, yeah? Yeah, so Dale, the drummer, had back surgery, I believe, and Cody from High on Fire and Big Business was filling in, but I think the Melvin said something that Cody couldn't make that show, so I think they had to cancel. But I'm sure Boris was awesome. How do you write Doom riffs that don't suck? I think don't judge yourself so much, man. You know? I think just write a song, finish it, start something else. It's easy to judge yourself too much, I think. I read a really good book recently called The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. I'm actually reading it. I read a bit every day. I'm about halfway through. It's really cool. It's just about creativity, and I think there's a lot of good tips in there for any type of writing you want to do, any type of creativity you want to do, whatever art it is. You know, just about kind of doing the art for yourself and not worrying so much about whether or not it sucks. Just kind of doing it, you know? Whether that's making songs or creating content or, you know, drawing or painting or whatever. Planet Caravan. Yeah, what's cool is Ruben's worked with so many people, and I think at the end of the day, when you read that book, you see that he's really more of like a creative coach in terms of his production technique. You know, and that's probably why he can work with, you know, the Beastie Boys and then Slayer and Danzig and then Johnny Cash and Adele and all this, you know, whoever else, Red Hot Chili Peppers, whoever else. I mean, he's worked with everyone. Yeah, it's a great book. I highly recommend it. It's the kind of book you can pick up and read any chapter, any given point in time. You can pick it up today and read one chapter. You can pick it up 3 weeks later and read the next chapter. And there's really no continuity between it. It's just kind of different ideas on how to conjure creativity. It's really cool. Yeah, Ruben's worked with AC/DC. I mean, who knows? Aerosmith, Run DMC. I mean, but the book doesn't really talk about any of those people. You know, the book is really just these different chapters of his take on how to be creative and how to conjure creativity. Like I said, it's kind of like a guide. It's pretty neat. But yeah, someone was saying Planet Caravan. Let's see if I can remember it here. Let's see. How was that? Took me a minute to figure it out, but I played it recently, actually. I think I did a short on it. I was out at my parents' place in the woods, and I played some of that. Fun song. Right now I'm just playing through, we've got the Woodrite Firecaster here, super fun guitar, some of my hair on it. Playing into, I think I'm through the Mad Amp right now. People always wonder what the Mad Amp sounds like clean. I'm using a Boss Space Echo RE2. But yeah, that's kind of the sound of a clean Mad Amp. Yeah. And that's obviously, that's with the drive fairly low on the Mad Amp. But right now, today I do have the Mad Amp and the Model T rigged up together with my head switcher, so we can switch between them, which is cool. Yeah, lucky my hair grayed. My hair started graying when I was really young, so I am lucky. It does work well. Yob, I love Yob. Awesome band. I wish I could teach more. People ask me to teach more, but it's like it's out of my wheelhouse. Like, I mean, I tried to learn a blaze a long time ago, and I think I taught it. I taught part of a blaze for like a lesson on the channel, and it took me, I don't know, it took me the better part of a month just to learn like maybe a minute and a half. It's Mike's rhythm guitar style is so unique and so his own, and all of the chords that he uses and the chord forms are very foreign, and trying to come up and figure out with what he's doing is just difficult. So I wish I could teach more Yob. I probably should try. I mean, his style is so cool, but it's just so outside of what I typically do and how I typically play that just hard to do. But I do think we've got, I did a lesson on a blaze, which is up on the channel, and then I've got tabs for, I think, maybe Marrow up on Patreon. I'm not sure, but a blaze is up on Patreon with the video for part of it, the part I could learn. And then, like I said, I got Marrow up there, but it's just difficult stuff for me to learn. I wish I could do more, for sure. Pickups in this are pretty hot. You know, these are the Talisman mini humbuckers here, and this is our T-style bridge pickup, and they're all pretty hot for sure. And then we've got the 5 positions here, and 2nd and 4th positions are out of phase, which is kind of cool. So it's just a whole bunch of different tones through the whole sweep. Does the Dio era of Sabbath, Doom. I mean, it's I like it. It's less doomy to me, in my opinion, but I do like it. I've listened to plenty of Dio era Sabbath. Do I listen to rap? No, never really have. Play some early Pantera. Like I couldn't play Pantera. I have no idea how to play any of it. I could maybe figure out Walk by Ear while we sit here, but I don't think that's a lot of fun. But I would go see the reunited Pantera tribute stuff. I would like to see that. That'd be cool. It's definitely not that I don't like that stuff. It's just I've never played that sort of, that's not my guitar playing style, let's say. Right. But so yeah, I've been playing this today. I've really loved these from the new Woodrite run. Obviously kind of a blend of a Firebird and a Telecaster body with the Firebird raised center block, and then you've got Telecaster bridge and bridge pickup, string through, body, Telecaster controls. That's a master tone, master volume, 5-way switch. Like I said, you've got these pretty hot Talisman humbuckers with a bridge single coil, Telecaster style single coil though. And the scale is 24 3/4, so more of a Gibson style scale length, with the old Firebird style headstock and a set of Grovers on it. I don't know. I've got a Woodbine custom shop version of this, and they're just nearly identical guitars. Really cool. But yeah, I've been just playing around with some of that. Yeah, we get requests from Paul Bearer time to time. And I would do it if you drop some specific requests at... here, let me put it in here. That is the link to drop specific requests on the channel. And, you know, really anything in the Doom space we'll cover. I have... Paul Bearer is a band that I haven't ever covered, but gets requested fairly often. So maybe they need to happen. That was Earth. Yeah, those are a couple Earth songs off Bees Made Honey. The action is fairly low on these. Maybe 5 and 4, 64ths on the 12th fret. But we set it a little lower than like our Warlords for sure. I've thought about teaching some of those Earth tunes. Obviously, I did the lesson for the Bees Made Honey. How do I play that? I think I'm always inspired to kind of play Earth stuff with this guitar, I guess, because of the Telecaster bridge pickup and the Telecaster body shape. Obviously, you know, the Telecaster style bridge pickup is something Dylan's famous for using in that band. And I know that when Shay at Woodbine designed this thing, you know, he's big into Earth and stuff, and that's kind of what he had in his mind with these guitars. And so, you know, when I play it, I'm always kind of inspired to do that Earth style drone stuff. Right now I'm playing through the GT120, Green Mad Amp GT120, and I'm using a cab sim of this cab, which is an orange HP8. So instead of the typical V30s, it's got a set of G12 K100s. So it's a 400 watt stereo cab. Really cool cab. Probably my favorite cab ever. I love it. And so I'm playing through the impulse response, 2 notes impulse response of that cabinet. Have I played a Mad Amp GT1? I have never played one, but I'm also curious about them. I know people who have played them. There's definitely some overlap there, but I think the GT1's probably more versatile overall. Like the GT120 is not that, as you know, having a GT120 MV, it's not that. It's kind of it's a bit of a one-trick pony. I mean, it's a great amp, but it kind of just does its one thing. Yeah, I use a 2 notes Torpedo Captor X. So both of these amps are running through a head switcher, and so I can use one at a time. Right now I'm on the Mad Amp, but we can switch to the Model T. And then I run into the 2 notes Audio Captor X, which has the, I'm running Torpedo, I guess it's called Torpedo Remote, their software, and that lets me choose this Orange HP8 cab. Are the Firecaster humbuckers as hot as the Warlord pickups? It's tough for me to give an exact comparison there. You know, they're mini humbuckers. They're wound pretty hot. But yeah, I would say, like, in a relative sense, probably. Maybe even more, so. Yeah, the Firebird headstock on these is super cool. Love it as well. What are my thoughts on the Sun Amp re-release? Well, I think it's been a bit of a disaster so far. You know, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But has not been super well executed up to this point, in my mind. Yeah. That was the neck. So that's in phase, then this is the out of phase second position. This is the first humbucker. Then this is the out of phase position for the humbuckers. And then this is the neck. So out of phase that was, then back in phase. Do I love cars? No, I wouldn't say it's a major passion of mine, ironically, as I've worked in the auto industry for a long time. But I've always been more into guitars and music. I do miss my, I had like a 2005 Dodge Magnum, which has become, I still have it, it's just, it's such a rat rod at this point. Hey, thanks, Alex. I'm glad you like it, man. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this guitar, to be honest. It's maybe because it's different for me, you know, from all the typical just two humbuckers, and you know, this is just a different palette of tones for me, for sure. And this is in just E standard right now. I've had it tuned down for the demo sections. I think I had it in, like when I did the actual demo for the release, I think I did it in E flat, but this is just in standard. Yeah, it was fun for the demo that we did to play on the hunt. Yeah, certainly some of COC has that doomier version of Skynyrd vibe to it, right? Not all of it. I remember taking a buddy of mine who doesn't really listen to stoner doom stuff at all to COC and telling him, oh, it's just like, you know, it's just like a stoner or a doom stoner version of Lynyrd Skynyrd. And when we left, he was like, that band did not sound like Lynyrd Skynyrd. Which just based on what they played at that show, you know, they definitely played on the heavier side of their catalog and did not sound like Skynyrd. Yeah, what do you want to hear? Like I said, this is just Yeah, messing around with the little Acid King there. Am I going to the Windhand show in a few weeks? I don't know. Are they playing near here? I'm in Charlotte. I didn't see them playing near here. I'm going to see Crowbar next week with Primitive Man in South Carolina. That should be exciting. Looking forward to that. Oh, I've never seen Primitive Man live, and I've seen Crowbar live a ton, and I love that band, so it's always fun to go see them. What's my favorite I Hate God album? Take As Needed for Pain, I would say. I feel like that's most people's answer, but the first album I ever bought by I Hate God, I probably got in about, I don't know, 2001 or 2002. I bought Confederacy of Ruined Lives on tape, cassette tape, and man, I remember just listening to that thing. I was working a factory job that summer, running like a punch press or something, and I just remember taking Confederacy of Ruined Lives and like imprinting it in my brain, just like side after side. It was probably actually 2002 or something, right around when Down 2 came out. Yeah, so that's, I remember that being the first album, and then I bought In the Name of Suffering, and then I think after In the Name of Suffering, I bought Take As Needed for Pain. And I can remember just leaving the record store with my buddy. We got it on CD and just listening to it on the drive home, and being just like, wow, what the fuck is this? Like, it was just so tortured sounding, just such an amazing record. But I love their entire catalog. It's obviously been so cool to have Jimmy playing a Warlord. That's been pretty neat. And getting to know him a bit's been fun. So, yeah, love I Hate God. I think the Crowbar show's in Columbia at New Brooklyn Tavern. We saw I Hate God there a month ago or something. And Dan, I saw you're digging your Illumerite. I'm glad, man. I hope you've been playing the shit out of that thing. It's been fun to finally get those out. We were a couple weeks behind. I had hoped we'd have them all out in August, but ended up just having some delays with the anodizing on the finish. So the anodizing machine broke. So we were a couple weeks delayed, but we got them out by I think most of them started shipping before August was out. And almost every one of them is delivered now. I think we've got one more to ship this week, and one still in transit. So if anybody's interested in those awesome guitars, I actually don't have mine. I shipped it up to the guys at Woodbine in Canada for them to check it out. So very, very cool guitars, super badass. We're super proud of how that whole project came out. And that may be the only run we do, certainly for the foreseeable future. But yeah, so there's one left. There's one left on the site if anybody is into it. I do play 15 and 12-inch speakers quite a bit. Most of my modern tone that I use when I'm doing lessons on the channel and such are a blend of 15s and 12s. I use in my back there behind me, I've got an old Sun 2x15 with I guess they're JBL D140Fs, I think they are. Some big old 15s, and so I use them a lot. Yeah, I find aluminum, certainly the Illumerites, they have, they're very acoustically resonant, so they're just very loud acoustically. They have really great sustain. I mean, they just ring, and I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's the material, I guess. I mean, they ring, and they've got more top-end presence, which works well in down tuning, obviously. It just adds a bit of clarity. But certainly, acoustically, they're brighter and louder than a wood guitar. And then I find they have really good sustain. And that's pretty much how I would describe it. Just a lot louder, a bit brighter, a little more presence, and really good sustain. Have I experienced any hate for being a homosexual Doom guitarist? I don't know. Maybe ask my wife. Seismic Summer was sweet. I enjoyed that show. It was long. My back hurt by the end. But the bands were awesome. It was fun to finally see my buddies in Witch Pit. I'd gotten to know Thomas from Witch Pit really well over the years, and we've hung out. We've hung out and met out, or hung out, met up one other time or something, but not. I've never seen them play, so that was fun to see them play. Bronco was fucking killer. Man, who were the bands? Bongfoot from I think they're from Boone, North Carolina, was pretty fun. Who else? Who else was there? Warlong, are they called? They were pretty awesome. It was fun. It was a fun show. Fun to see a local show like that at the Milestone. Cosmic Reaper was killer as always. Yeah, man. And yeah, on the aluminum thing, maybe Dan can weigh in, because he's got one of the Illumerites. Any interest in Kerry King's new band? Not really. Don't even know what they are or what their name is. Sorry. But yeah, Cosmic Reaper, that was my second time seeing those guys, and they're really good. Yeah, that's the Crowbar show in South Carolina on the 13th. I'll be at that one. I've heard, what's my take on the Laney LA30BL? I've heard nothing but good things about that amp. I've obviously got I've got a 69 60 watt supergroup, and I've also got a 6900 watt supergroup that I recently picked up that I haven't played on the channel at all yet. Was just getting, it's at, I actually sent it up to Nick Williams at Dunwich to just give it a once over, make sure everything was good to go on it. But I'm excited about that one. An old 69 supergroup, pretty cool. It's got a lot of history, the particular one that I got, so kind of stoked about it. We'll see when we get it on the channel. But it'll be fun to talk about that one. It's just got a really cool lineage, let's say, of albums that it's been on. But yeah, so the 30 watt, I mean, I know guys who've got the 100 watt and the 30 watt, and they seem to like the 30 watt as just a lower headroom, lower volume option. Yeah, Tyler. So I'm playing one of them. Oh, I got you. The other ones. Yeah, so many of you may have seen that we've been working with Matt Pike on some Warlords. Pike's been playing a Warlord. Played some when he was out with the Automaton, and the last show High on Fire did, Matt played a Warlord, and we've been working with him a while on his own model, kind of a signature model. So if you were lucky enough to catch a glimpse of those guitars, they are super fucking cool. They were posted. His roommate and good buddy Jordan Barlow, who drew the inlays, actually posted some shots. When we just got them to Matt, and so Jordan posted some shots of the guitars with the inlays and everything. And Matt should be playing them here at the upcoming High on Fire shows, I would think, at least a bit. So he seemed pretty stoked on them. Yeah, so I mean, they're fucking awesome. I haven't got one yet, but I'm excited. Bong Ripper uses F standard tuning. I'm not the best person to ask about noise gates because I just don't run them. So I don't run them a lot. Like the noise gates that I run are just, I've run some when recording lessons in the past. Yeah, I think if anybody wants to see the Pike Warlords, I think Matt posted a shot on his Patreon, so you can check that out. Patreon.com/Matt Pike, I think. Yeah, Patreon.com/Matt Pike. And if you've never checked out Matt's Patreon in general, what are you doing? Because it's fucking amazing. Matt's Patreon is the best. It's like they've done so many song lessons, super entertaining to watch. And yeah, I would check that out. I haven't personally met with Brent or Bill, but Bill has been playing a Goldburst Warlord a bunch on this last tour, which was cool, which we weren't really expecting. We had Shay at Woodbine has known those guys for a long time. They've played different Woodbines. I know Brent's played the hell out of that green, kind of emerald green with gold hardware double cut that they do. And Bill's played different single cut styles from Woodbine over the years. I know Bill has one of these. Brent has a Switchblade. And we asked Bill if he wanted a Goldburst Warlord when we first got that second run, and he was all about it. So we sent him one, but never really knew he would play it. And then all of a sudden this tour, he just was playing it, which was super cool. So that's been pretty awesome. It's been cool because Bill's been playing a Goldburst Warlord here and there. Mike Scheidt from Yob just used the Gloss Black Warlord on his solo tour. They were playing the Complexity of Distance, which was his kind of solo album composed by James Romig, and it's super cool. If you haven't checked out that, it's awesome. I listen to it all the time. It's like a drone, but a little different. It doesn't sound like Sun or anything. It's got its own vibe to it. So Mike used one, and then Pike's obviously played one with Pike versus the Automaton and the Last High on Fire show. Jimmy used it all through Europe in I Hate God. So just been fun to see that guitar out in the wild like that with a bunch of my heroes, obviously, and guys who I've been fans of since I was, 18 years old or whatever. Pretty cool. When I started listening to Doom, the defining moment for me was when Down 2 came out, which I think was 2000 or 2002. Let's look so I'm not making shit up. Yeah, 2002. That's what sticks into my mind anyway. So I started listening I was already listening to Sabbath for many years prior, and so I was very into that band, but hadn't really gone outside of that when it came to Doom. And then Down 2 came out, and we were all, I think, listening to some Pantera and stuff at the time, and so decided to listen to Down, and just really got into that album, and that helped me discover, all the bands related to, I Hate God with Jimmy, and listening to Crowbar with Kirk and COC with Pepper. And then from there, seeing I just became a huge fan of all those bands, and then I would see them wearing St. Vitus shirts, talking about Trouble or Witchfinder General. At the time, they were talking, all the magazines, they were talking about old school Doom. And that's how I kind of started to go down the various pathways. But yeah, so 2002, I would have been 20. And now I'm 41. So it's been about 21 years. Thomas, can I do this again next Sunday? I mean, maybe. I'm always hit or miss with these. I like to do them. They're always fun to do. But it's always dependent on my schedule and stuff. Typically, I have done these either on Saturdays or Sundays or sometimes Friday nights. Let's see. We've been playing. So that was the Firecaster. I showed you guys that one. This one is the Switchblade, which has been hugely popular. These things, we sold through these things faster than we expected, I think. But we do have one left on the site right now. So if you're into one, grab it because they are almost gone. This is the prototype. So it's got like raw metal, just raw metal cover plates here, but all the production ones are chrome, like as you'd expect. Super cool guitars. I'm not surprised they were as popular as they are. Every time we posted one leading up to the release, they'd get a lot of love. So obviously kind of a blend of an SG and a Jag, humbucker Jag. So people usually say like a Cobain style Jag and an SG with a Fender Starcaster style headstock. And they're definitely weighty guitars, you know, more like a Jag than an SG. It's definitely got no neck dive or anything. Weighs usually about 9.2 pounds or so. That is the Switchblade. Hello from Spain. Welcome, welcome. Hey man, that's cool. I'm glad you saw Jimmy play in the Warlord live. That was cool. Yeah, we are down. We're very low stock on the Warlords now, down to single digits. I think we've got like 2 Grimburst left, and less than 10 of the gloss black and gloss white. So that'll probably be the last time we do those. Certainly for another till probably 2025 or beyond, we're going to be revisiting some new finishes, I would say, is the plan. So if you're after a gloss white or a gloss black or a Grim, I would snag one while they're around. But yeah, so this Brent Hines and Mastodon has played these live, which is cool. I've got a shot on the website of him playing one, but these super cool. They've got so yeah, we did humbuckers, a set of humbuckers, And these are the Fire Lance humbuckers from Woodrite. And then you've got a kind of a modern switching system here. These thumb wheels allow you to basically blend from a single coil to a humbucker on the bridge and neck pickup. So that one controls the neck, that one controls the bridge. This is a kill switch. And then these are on-off switches for each pickup. So this one is for the neck, this one is for the bridge, and this is like a low-end cut. Yeah, and so these are just super cool guitars. Fun to play, a little different. It's nice having the 6 in a row tuning machines seem to hold tuning better than the typical 3x3 that I'm used to, especially on that G string. I don't know if that's typical, but do I think doom metal guitar tone is similar to grunge? Not really. That's not really in my head what I hear. Grunge is usually tuned higher and more overdrive distortion, whereas doom is tuned lower and more fuzz and more low end. That's my take. Do I think a 2x15 cabinet is a bit overkill for a first proper rig just to jam around with friends? Depends what style you're doing, you know. Depends what style you wanna try. I think 15s for guitar players aren't actually that common. It really fills up a lot of the low end, so it sounds really good when you're playing by yourself, that's for sure. And if you're playing anything drone or really modern sounding, maybe, but it just depends on the tone you're after. But 15s are just add a ton of low end and a little top end as well. So you definitely need to blend them. Like, you could never just take 15s and play guitar. Like, you would have no mid-range at all. Trouble Psalm 9. That's a good intro to doom. That's a great record. Yeah, and Skyliner, you're talking bass. That's a different story. I was talking guitar. If you're talking bass, yeah, I mean, I know they can be tough to push though, you know, and like my buddies in Witch Pit have a killer Emperor 215 cab that they're trying to sell because they feel like in live situations they can't really push it. And it's a killer cab. I don't know if it's still for sale, but they wanted $850 for it. I was looking at it at the show a couple weeks ago. Electro Omega always drop Z, man. Any news on Woodrite basses? So I think basses are really on our, I would say our short list for 2024 would be to get a bass out and probably a bass, and we've got some other ideas as well. But to me, if there was a next model outside kind of variations of these Warlords, Switchblades, and Firecasters, for me it would be a bass. The plans are to do a Warlord bass, and I think we would like to do some variation of a Switchblade bass as well. Yeah, I don't think we'll do a P bass. I mean, I think we'll do a Warlord bass, probably, first, since that's probably most logical for us, and it's certainly been what has been most requested. People have wondered if we could do this as a bass or a bass 6 or whatever, and that could happen too. But I think we could do one of these like a Jazzmaster. You know, I don't think we would change the body style of this. I think it would be like this, with more of a Jazzmaster style control, pickguard, pickups style layout. That's at least in my head. Maybe could be baritone. There's Witch Pit. There's Thomas. We've already been talking about you, man. I've been trying to figure out if someone in here should try and buy your 2x15 Emperor. A Warlord Grimburst base. I'd like that idea too. That could happen. But we'll just have to see. I don't know. Mid 2024, I think, for a base. I think, and it would be the Warlord base first, and it's going to be, you know, it won't be exactly the same as a, you know, we'll modify it a little bit to be more suitable for base. So it'll be a bit different in terms of shape, and probably just won't have a carved top. It'll probably be flat. Maybe some shape to it, but it won't be like a big carved top maple cap thing like the guitar. Thomas, that's awesome, man. I hope you like the Switchblade. Like I said, we've got one left for sale right now if anybody wants one. That'll be the last of them for, again, just a while, because probably sometime in 2024. But yeah, man, I hope you like it. They were a long ass time in the making, I can tell you that. It took us probably, I think we started doing Warlords in 2021, and then yeah, we started with a different manufacturer, and then we switched over to PT Wildwood, which has been awesome, and their ability to just keep up with what we wanted to do was great. And so they've just, I mean, they're pros, right? They build for ESP, they build for PRS, like they're awesome. And so now we can just you know, we just can design and build as we want. Mad Amp, what do I think about the Mad Amp master volume compared to the non-master volume? So I have had here, my buddy Donnie here in the area has a non-master GT120, and I have a master. The non-master is probably, to me, a better sounding amp, more headroom, probably cleaner overall, but like ungodly loud. Like, it doesn't, if you want to play it at low volume at all, you need an attenuator, which is fine. Like I said, I'm always using the Torpedo X anyway, so in hindsight, I would probably get that amp. But for low volume play, the MV and just a range of volumes, the MV really helps. So I feel like and I don't even know if it's just because it's always loud. So like the MV, obviously, as you turn it up, it sounds better. Like the louder it is, certainly as you get towards the end of the master volume dial, it just sounds better. Whereas the non-master amp is just always loud. It's like if you crack it, just like you turn it on and put it at 0 and plug into the low input, it's still crushingly loud. So it can't really do low volume at all. So it always just sounds massive. Whereas this thing, you can play down at a whisper if you want. But like I said, if you get an attenuator like the Captor X, it really doesn't matter. You can attenuate down very low with that thing as well. So I know that's how he kind of tamed his, because it was too low for him, too loud for him. But I've played both. I've had both here through my rig, and that the non-master sounds better. But like I said, it could just be because it's always ripping loud. It just feels like a cleaner amp, a little more headroom. Like the headroom on it is crazy compared to this, which is always kind of dirty. Like you can barely get, I guess with the single coil stuff that I was doing on the Firecaster, you could get a bit more clean. But the master volume is cleaner, more headroom, louder, that sort of thing. So yeah, what do I like about the master volume? I like that you just have a lot more control over the volume. That would be the benefit. With the master volume, you know, it's just a super loud. With the non-master, it's just a super loud amp. So if all you're using it for is gigging or in a practice space, then you're good. But if you're going to use it at home, just be prepared to need an attenuator. And then there's like, I think the GT, is it the GT1 that has a defeatable master volume, which is pretty cool. Yeah, Kirk has used Randall's for a long time. I thought Kirk was using a Helix now or something. Thought that's what I heard anyways. What does compression do? I find compression typically, you know, just adds a little bit of sustain, a little bit of clarity perhaps. Sometimes I use them, sometimes not. I don't have any compressors on right now. But I do think I do think it's a good effect. What is my favorite distortion or fuzz? I mean, it's hard to name a favorite, right? Like, I don't know. I mean, I think big muffs are great. You know, I always love various versions of the big muff when it comes to fuzz. And rats are great when it comes to distortion. Like just your basic building blocks. Those are probably my favorite fuzz and distortion style circuits overall. Kirk did have a weird period using Orange Crush heads. I think Orange was endorsing him, and I think he used them for a little while, but I don't think he really liked them. I know when I did my interview with him, I don't know. It's hard to remember because I had one interview. I interviewed Kirk twice, actually. In the first interview, I lost the entire thing. When I went to save it, it like my computer crashed. And so I had this amazing interview with him, and I lost it. But he was kind enough to redo it. But anyways, in one of the interviews, we talked about the amp situation, and I think it didn't really give him that classic sound that Crowbar is kind of known for, which is the Randall RG100 ES boosted with a Boss MT2 set up as a boost. And so I think over time he just migrated back to the Randalls. But like I said, I thought I heard that he was using a Helix. I thought Jimmy was saying that. I feel like the Switchblade to me, I mean, it feels more like an SG, right? So it's just more of your typical, I guess, Doom guitar, really. And what it is cool to be able to take it back to a single coil versus a humbucker and kind of blend in between those tones. Kind of cool. It's weird for me because it's in drop D or whatever. I've got it in drop D, but it's in standard. Because we did the Switchblade and Firecaster in E standard, I wanted to keep them in E standard or thereabouts for the demo. But I'm probably gonna just take this one down to B or C so I can play more of what I would typically play on it. It's always weird a bit to have an E standard guitar. Let's go see how do I got this thing set up. So we got it set as a single coil. Maybe I should not kill it, huh? Sorry. Technical difficulties for a second there. When I do these things, I actually can't hear myself playing, so I just kind of kick shit on. And so I've got it rolled back as a single coil here, playing clean, I think. Hopefully that worked. Have we ever thought about getting into boutique amps? Well, we have all these preamp circuits. We actually have built one solid state, I think it was a 15 watt supergroup based on the Walpurgis circuit. And so yes, we've talked about it. We've thought about it. There's no immediate plans. It's just, you know, I don't want to spread. We're already like spread too thin. You know, it's trying to do everything we do with the channel and with the all the pedals we've got and the pedal line, and then now I've got the guitars that I'm managing and all that, everything at Woodrite. It's like if we go and start doing amps, we do pedal boards, we do pedals. I've got all the channel with all the lessons and stuff that I try to keep up with, and all the guitars. It's just doing amps would just be one more thing. I'd like to do it. We've got a great relationship with Mojo Tone here in North Carolina. They took over building our pedal boards years ago now, and so we manufacture our pedal boards in their custom shop as opposed to our garages, which we did for a long time, just in the garages here in North Carolina. But they're only a couple hour drive away, so they've been awesome to work with. But working with them gives us the option of doing amps or cabs if we ever wanted to. But taking the leap into amps, I don't know. We definitely got hot on it for a bit, and then, you know, just kind of keep working on pedals. It's just hard to find time to do it all, but I think we could do some awesome amps. So our thought with it was really to do solid state stuff and do some cool solid state designs that are, you know, like I said, a supergroup. Do a Laney supergroup that's a solid state. Do a Model T that's a solid state, and just kind of come up with something that's not out there on the market. And that's kind of what we thought. Just back in the day, there were white and black and versions of the Mad Amps, or they were at least, you know, there was orange obviously, and there was white and there was black. But even Mad Amp today will build a black Mad Amp if you want. They'll put whatever you want on the faceplate. So it's just hard to say. It depends on the era. Some electric amps, like the Electric Amp Company, which was a bit of an offshoot, an American offshoot disaster of Mad Amp, built, I think, some black amps back in the day, in the 90s. So you just got to kind of know what you're after, but it's all kind of Mad Amp style circuits. Why do I prefer 12 gauge strings? I mean, it depends what tuning I'm using, right? Like 12s I typically use in C standard. For C sharp standard, I would use 11s. You know, you can use 10s. I mean, Iommi uses 9s. So. But yeah, Thomas, the guys at Mojotone have been awesome. You know, I know if we went the amp direction, they would definitely be our choice to do the head shells and stuff. So maybe someday. I do have the old Supergroup prototype in the closet over there, which is kind of cool. Daniel, does my wife get involved in the business? She's helped a lot with guitar packing that we do. So I personally QC everything. And then there's just a lot of packing that goes on. So she's helped a lot with that over the years. And packing other stuff as well. So that's been what she's done with the business mostly. And a lot of the wives, like on the pedal side, they help with even some basic like switch prep soldering and stuff like that. So we do have several of the wives involved with different stuff. Yeah, the electric amp saga is a bit. It's I don't know if you want to dive down that rabbit hole. Every once in a while, someone will pop up who doesn't know it, and they'll be like, "What do you think about electric amps? Should I get one of these?" Yeah, if you find them on the used market, they're probably great, you know, but they don't come up that often, and you can't obviously order from them anymore because of everything that went down, I'm sure. Does Matt Pike follow me on Instagram? Probably. I don't know. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I know Matt. I've got to know Matt pretty good. The Doom boards and the pedals, we really, because of the cost of the Patreon membership being, you know, 10 or 15 bucks a month, we don't offer a discount on the pedal boards or the guitars. But we do offer early access on everything there. The pedals, we do 10 bucks off every pedal. And so, yeah. So the guitars, typically it's just an early access thing. And same with like new pedals, new releases. Everything we're releasing gets released there first if it's brand new. So all those people get to kind of order it first and whatnot. And we do a $10 discount on all the pedals. Maybe that could change in the future. We'll see. The new orange OR30, I think the price is a bit high for what it is, personally. Like, I wouldn't buy one of those brand new. I think, like, what's the price on it? Isn't it like 1,800 bucks or something? What is the price? Orange OR30, 1800. So, I mean, some years have passed, obviously, but I bought my Mad Amp GT120 here, built by Mad Amp, built to order for $1,820. So it's going to be hard for me to buy an orange OR30 for $1,800 when I paid $20 more for a brand new green Mad Amp. That's my thought on it. Now time has passed, but I still think to order a green Mad Amp is not that expensive. Let's see how much a Mad Amp is right now. $16.95. That's in pounds. So a Mad Amp now is $2,100. So that's shipped. So you can pay $2,100 for a green Mad Amp GT120, or you can pay $1,800 for an orange OR30. You make the choice. There you go. Yep. Yeah, 21 shows $2,100. So that price has just gone up because of inflation, obviously. But I feel like I find that to be like still just bang for your buck. Ordering an amp brand new from Mad Amp costing that much, it's probably the way I would go in most cases. Money better spent on vintage amps? Well, it really depends. A lot of times vintage amps need servicing, which servicing can cost a lot of money. It's like that. I've got a Fender back there that's a 1979 dual Showman reverb, so kind of like a twin. It is a twin, a Fender twin circuit and a head shell, and I bought it real cheap. Even just a couple of years ago, I bought it for like $550, which is way cheap for that amp, but I took it to my tech and it had basically never been serviced. So I had to do like spend almost the same amount, another $550 to rebuild the entire thing. And we did it correctly, obviously, but that's kind of, if you're buying vintage amps, they're going to need servicing, cap jobs. But if you're willing to spend the money to tune them up, then vintage can be great. Just depends. Like this, my Model T had been completely serviced. Was like a studio, had been in a studio for many years, and then was bought up by someone who had it fully serviced. And so when I got it, it's been a great amp, but it was serviced recently. So I would just keep that in mind if you're buying vintage amps, that you're probably going to have them serviced. It's always good to buy from someone who says they've had it serviced, especially if they have a receipt or record from the shop and the tech that did the work. Electro Omega, what pedals have you had sitting in boxes for almost a year? I laugh, but I've done the same. I ordered. I saw a great deal on an old Jerry Cantrell wah that I bought, and I haven't plugged it in. And this was a while ago now, and I saw a good deal on a Wilson Freaker wah, and I haven't opened that either. So, or I've opened them both, but I haven't plugged them in. Haven't tried either of them. So, Jaden, yeah, man, vintage amps are cool if you can find a good deal, but just make sure you understand that it may need servicing. I've not used a Micro Terror. I haven't played any of those little lunchbox amps, really. I've often thought about getting an OR15 because I feel like those are really good value. You know, you can get an OR15 used for $450, $500. I always feel like that's good value. Although those amps have no clean headroom or anything, as far as I understand. They always seem to sound good when I've seen people make demos with them. They do always seem to sound great. Do I need a Variac for my GT120? No. It comes set for 120. Jordan, you guys, you can reach me. I would check out our Patreon, patreon.com/doesitdoom. Got a huge community there. I answer all questions. If you DM me on Patreon, I always answer within 24 hours. And you can always try and reach me on other social platforms. There, I answer questions there from time to time as well. Yeah, it does. I do have a membership tier where we can sit down for an hour on video. We can do a video chat and hang out, and you can ask any questions you want. But yeah, those the one-on-one sessions are usually really fun. Like I said, we can answer any questions you want. If you got questions about gear or theory, or maybe a specific lesson from the channel, we can go over anything. And they usually end up being fun. A lot of people I find like to talk about gear and how to set up their gear. And some people want to hear about theory, want to talk about some of the theoretical concepts I discuss from time to time in the lessons. But yeah, always fun. Man, you got to open those up and give them a go. Yeah, that stuff's not too difficult. You never see me mention acid bath. Well, you should go check out my lesson for, what did I do? Venus Blue? I think I've got tabs for the Blue and Bleed Me an Ocean up on Patreon. And I think I did a lesson on Venus Blue. Let's see. This is a complete list of all of the lessons and videos and tabs and shit that we got on Patreon, so you can check it out there. But yeah, I love acid bath. Yeah, the Sammy interview was fun. That was around the time when Sammy's done amazing, right, online. Like, he's done so much cool stuff on Instagram with all the live streaming he's done and all of the demonstrations of all the acid bath and goat whore riffs. So fucking cool. But when I got to talk to him was right when he had kind of started that up. And, you know, I was stoked to see him jump on Instagram, and I think I just jumped on him and asked if he would wanted to do an interview, and he was all about it. So that was a fun interview. If you've never listened to my interview with Sammy Douay, probably do that. That was fun. We talked all about gear and acid bath and some goat horse stuff. It was fun. But let's see, can I remember that? No, can't. You're gonna sell your Model T first gen. Why? Uh, 13 to 56 with a wound G and C standard is pretty standard, I would say. Lots of people use that set. I use a little lighter, typically 12, and sometimes I like a plain G just for leads for me. I find a wound G is hard to bend to pitch. Yeah, I would think it would be hard for me to sell my Model T. Especially now, because it would be fairly hard to get another one. Recommend an ABY pedal. I use the radial shotgun, but that's got 4 outputs and you can't turn them off. I think Radial makes really good products when it comes to stuff like that. I think their I forget what they've got a few different AB boxes, but I would check them out. Radial Engineering. Best amps for cleans are, I think, high watts, typically. I like old Fenders though, they're fun. D, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm sure the new Model Ts will be 5,000 to 7,000 based on everything we've seen so far. I'm not the best guy to ask about amps for clean guitar sounds, I'll be honest. The cab in the background here is an orange HP8. It's a 400 watt cab with a quad of G12K 100 speakers, and that's the cab you're hearing an impulse response of that cab here today. Yeah, you often hear people talk about jazz chorus. No, I don't play drums at all. Will Mad Amp ever make a combo amp? They have. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen a modern one, but they did for a while. And who knows? Maybe if you called them, maybe they would. Well, I'm in E standard, so it's hard to play Electric Wizard. And I don't really have a good fuzz for it right here. Let's try that. Sound right. But if you want to learn some Electric Wizard, I've got a ton of lessons on the channel. Tons. Again, you can check that. You can check out this list on Patreon and see like a full list of everything that we've got. Oh, 70s or 80s pentagram. That's hard. That is hard. I love the 70s pentagram. It's so cool, but the 80s is so awesome too. That's a tough choice for me. What's your choice? Yeah, the Switchblade does really meet a lot of different styles, I would say, right? It's got like, you've got the Doom vibes, the shoegaze vibes, indie vibes, grunge vibes. I mean, it's just a really cool, and that's probably why it's been so popular. Like I said, we're down to the last one. If anybody's looking for one, you can find it on the site, and we probably won't have any more till sometime in 2024. But they've been really popular. People have loved them, which is cool. Speakers for Doom. I mean, I always like V30s are good. Like I said, this has G12K 100s, which I enjoy. I liked V-type speakers. Greenbacks I don't love so much for Doom just because of the power handling. I'm glad you're digging the Baghdad, man. Have you got yours yet? But yeah, and there's, you know, there's so many more speakers out there. I use a lot of cab sim these days, and it really highlights how dramatically different the speaker cab can change your tone overall. I was never a fan of G12T 75s. I think my old orange cab had those in them. Just a little bright for me, I found. Yeah, I've never tried hempbacks. My overall experience with different speakers, I've used a bunch of different Celestian stuff. I haven't used a lot of that. You know, you hear people talk about Eminent Swamp Things or Texas Heats and things like that, which are all, you know, people really talk highly of. I haven't tried that stuff. My old green cab has G12 T100s, which I don't like as much as the G12 K100s, and the hot 100s are just kind of brighter again. And the K100s that just have a lot of low end and a big low mid kind of hump, they just sound good to me. So that's kind of been my favorite cab for a while. Yeah, the hair turning white was kind of a fortunate occurrence, wasn't it? In terms of impulse responses, hey, thanks, man. Thanks for checking it out. I hope you enjoy it. Jump in the Discord server. There's the Discord server for the Patreon is where it's at. You know, it's like we're having this conversation here in the live chat, but you jump in there and there's like hundreds of people in there, just chatting about this shit all the time. It's great. Like tons of knowledgeable people. We've got sections for everything: guitars, pickups, bass, amps, cabs, lessons, demos. I don't know. It's really cool. Check it out. We've got a 14-day free trial going, so you just sign up. If you don't like it, cancel. But I would say most people that do the free trial end up becoming members. Oh man, good luck with the G12 with the K100s. I think you'll like them. I'm waiting for the rest of my beard to go gray because it's kind of weird right now. It's like half. But I'm sure it's coming. But yeah, anyways, guys, I think we're going to call it for today. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I like doing these things. I'm sorry I don't do them more regularly. I'm trying to do them at least once a month, maybe twice a month, because they're fun. And it's just trying to slot them in. And people ask me to do them in a regular time slot and stuff. And with my schedule, it's just trying to find an hour or two where we can do it once or twice a month. So I always have fun doing them. I appreciate everybody hanging out, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.